call me old-fashioned. It's time to grab your glass, fill it up to the brim, because now it is time for 4 hours for commercial-free bourbon drinking.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today, I don't think we're doing old fashions. We're gonna do a little cocktail. We're gonna have a pour or two, maybe. But happy Saturday! Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, your March Madness parlays hit, and you guys are swimming in the cash today. If not, we're here for you. Have a drink with us. Sit back, relax, and we're gonna dive into a different cocktail. One that I typically don't make. I haven't made one on stream in a while, or maybe ever, to be closer on that, right? So I got a video coming out soon that will be like different cocktails, stuff like that, because a couple of you guys want me to make stuff other than just old fashions. This one's a little bit more simple, but I just want to kind of get a gauge of it. So it is going to be a whiskey ginger. Super simple. Whiskey, ginger ale, lime. Super simple. So we're going to dive into this. I got some fancy ginger ale too. What is this? Fever Tree. It just looked good. You know what I mean? It just felt like that's going to be a good ginger ale. So I'm more excited for that, to be honest. Let's check with the chat real quick. If you haven't already, boys, drop a like on the stream, subscribe, and let's get this stream going. Bourbon Daddy says, oh snap, Saturday stream, let's go. Bourbon Daddy, hopefully you're not working. I know you're always working, but hopefully not. Suka says, another one. Alex says, yeet. Welcome to stream, boys. Happy to have you. I am going to use the Wild, it's crazy, right? Maybe I should be using this. I wanted to use Wild Turkey 101. I just don't have any right now. But I'm going to use Wild Turkey 70th anniversary, 8-year age. I mean, my whiskey. I'll drink it how I want. So, obviously, start off with this one. It's just, by the way, I got good ice today. I got a whole ice cube. I know. Look at me. That's only because I tried to have it yesterday. I didn't have it yesterday. But it's going to be, I just did the wrong side. But it's going to be 2 ounces of your bourbon of choice. That's a half ounce. So yeah, total 2 ounces of Bourbon. Wouldn't that be crazy if that's how people pronounce it? You know what I mean? And then some people measure it. A lot of people don't, though. Just kind of top it off with ginger ale. I got to give this a little taste test, too, because I haven't had this. You know, like when you buy something, you feel like this, like non-alcohol related for a second. You buy something, you're like, is this going to be top-tier ginger ale? This is top-tier ginger ale, boys. 25% less sugar. I'm here for it. High Top says, after that loss, I need a drink. Well, come on over. We're doing a little whiskey ginger. So we're just going to top this off. That sounds about right. It just feels right. And then a little lime wedge, a little squirt. I'm just going to put it in. I didn't get fancy enough to have it on the side. Raphael says, it's your boy back in the live. I definitely don't say that, but should I start doing that? It's your boy back with another drink. David and Dog says, that Kentucky bourbon? This is, right? What are we? For a second, I was like, what did I just pour? It's Wild Turkey 70th anniversary. I know this shouldn't be cocktail bourbon, but it's mine. I'll drink it how I want. 2A Freedom says, thoughts on Penelope barrel strength? We just did that, I believe, last Friday. I broke into the barrel strength, the Havana, and the Rose, or Rosé. I like the barrel strength. It's not my favorite. The way I kind of described it is like for $50, it's not really worth 50. But if you can get it on sale, it is a good like standard bourbon, like all the classic bourbon notes, decent proof point. I just feel like there's a lot better options for $50. I probably would go with Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Weirdly enough, I really did like the Rosé one, and I'm not a big wine guy either. So, but it's good. If you're like a big Penelope fan, I feel like you have to have it. You can't see it. It's actually on the end of that shelf. But David said whiskey is not bourbon. You mean I mean, technically you're right on that. I thought you said it backwards for a second. I was like, wait, what's happening here? Douglas says, hello from Melbourne, Australia. That's pretty cool. What time is it over there? Like 6 in the morning? Ho ho, back in the chat. Austin says, hello everyone, long time no see. I've been working a lot lately on my father's ranch. That sounds like some real manly shit right there. But welcome back. Isaiah in the chat, Tux in the chat. That's the only bourbon I kill a fifth a day. I mean, wild turkey's pretty good in general, right? The 70th anniversaries, honestly, I can't say I've tried them next to each other, but I feel like from what I remember, this one's just got a little bit of edge. I don't know if it's a little bit enough for the money difference. But I also hear the Wild Turkey 101 is kind of going down in quality, but I can't quote on that. But the 70th anniversary is good. I mainly wanted it for the bottle. That sounds stupid, but I really wanted that bottle. So if you guys haven't already, drop a little like on the stream, subscribe. If you're new, we're on the road to 2,500 subscribers. What are you guys sipping on? This is actually pretty good. This is super like summer feeling. Now, I will say the wild turkey part of it, it's good. I bet you it would be better with a rye, even though this is typically done with like more of a... Oh, I get where the confusion came from. No, I said whiskey ginger. Bourbon ginger? You're right. Touche, touche. Maybe that's why it's off. Whatever, it's late. Stop getting particular. When I release the full video, if I mess it up there, then you correct me. White Mike says, you eat corn the long way. I eat it the way I want to eat it. You know, corn's the only food you borrow. I can't believe somebody softballed that one up for me. Talk says, hello, all good to see everyone again. What a day, boys. What a day. Who's betting on the parlays of these games? Who's got Vegas in their pocket? Because I couldn't hit anything. Raphael says, what's your thoughts on E.H. Taylor small batch? I had some and a single barrel 4 Roses OBSF today, and I prefer the 4 Roses. Single barrel probably was a high. Which one do I have? Is that the red label ones? I have the OESF. So, I mean, proof-wise, flavor-wise, the 4 Roses is pretty good. I'd say the small batch is more approachable. More people want that one just because it's more hyped up. It depends on who you are. I don't know. MSRP on the E.H. Taylor normally would be cheaper. So, like, in theory, the 4 Roses, you know, higher price. But E.H. Taylor, you're going to typically have to pay more to get it. So, I don't know. I like small batch. Nothing wrong with it. I probably would choose the EH over the 4 Roses. Unless I was wanting a higher proof one, I guess. If I wanted the higher proof, I'd be going 4 Roses. Tuck says, Corn Hub. That's good. David says, I sit in my mining camp in Chicken, Alaska. It's a struggle thinking about panning for gold. Then, bam, I'm drunk. Is that really what you do? That's sick. One of my buddies almost just went up to Alaska to, I don't know, it was the mine for gold, but he was going to go work somewhere up there. You guys ever seen that TV show where they mine for gold? I'm sure it's not the same thing. I'm not trying to compare the two, but that was a interesting show to watch on Discovery Channel. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I've seen some shows a couple times here and there. What's everybody else's thoughts on this question? Just to kind of see what you guys think. Raphael asks, what's the thoughts on this E.H. Taylor small batch? You know, he preferred the 4 Roses. Would you guys rather have a E.H. Taylor small batch or 4 Roses single barrel? The questions that I'd like answers to. You know what I mean? I think they're 2 totally different bottles, though. E.H. Taylor is a little bit more, family friendly, more approachable, not as spicy. right? More sweeter profile, the Buffalo Trace mash bill that everybody loves already. But it's Buffalo Trace, so I can kind of gauge it where it comes from, you know? Four Roses, I like the uniqueness of it. Mine has a little bit of a mint note on it too, the one I have. It's nice. But I have a feeling like if I like had a choice, I'd probably just gravitate towards a small batch just based off of like, I don't know. I probably just would. Raphael says, so I have the OBSF 100 proof single barrel, so it was only $49.99. Ooh, and 100 proof, so it matches up proof points with E.H. Taylor. That's interesting because I was thinking high proof. The high proof part would win it. Like, I feel like would win it in like a blind. I don't know, like matching up the proof points, who would win, like which way I'd gravitate towards. I definitely need to get one. So Isaiah said, definitely want to try them side by side. You know what I mean? That sounds like a fair way to judge something like that. David says, straight out of the bottle is fine with me. Hey, you drink it however you want to drink it. I used to drink straight out of the bottle, but then the wife got mad at me because every time I do that, then I drink way too much. Typically, if I'm drinking out of the bottle, somebody usually needs to take it away from me and be like, hey, we're done today, bud. On says, I just bought Backwoods whiskey. 7-year is really expensive, but it's good. Backwoods whiskey. I don't know what that is. Tuck says, between the two, I take E.H. Taylor, but between OESO and E.H. Taylor, that would be harder for me. That's what I was saying. Like the proof on the single barrel I have is like 120 something. It's in the 120s, and like, but it's spicy, right? It's got a lot of punch to it. Where like it's not even like in the same category as E.H. Taylor, like sweetness level or anything like that. It's good. I kind of want to have a pour of that. Maybe that's what we pour up next. I haven't had it in a minute and a quarter. But yeah, the E.H. Taylor, I don't know. I feel like if I was just going for like a random pour, I'd probably go for it. Just more approachable. I do think for my bourbon ginger, apparently, a little dash of the lime, a little bit more lime, would have just full send, you know? It's just ginger ale, though. This was like $6 for 4. I feel like that's way too much, you know? This is like a small bottle. What is this? 200 milliliter? It's really good, though. Fever Tree, highly impressed, just by the way. Somebody needs to grab a sponsor. David says, there's nothing funnier than getting drunk and chasing swamp donkeys trying not to get killed. David, you sound like you're a good time to be around with a couple drinks. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like if you're like the guy that you're like, hey, I'm bored on a Friday. Like, what are we doing? You're like, call David. He'll get us into some shit. You know what I mean? Like that's the vibe I'm getting from you. They're blending 3 gingers. That's good. It's good ginger ale. This is not the kind of stuff you get when like you were sick and your mom's like, drink some ginger ale. Like that's not what you got. For sure. Not that it needs more alcohol, it needs more fizz. You know what I mean? A little fizz. Probably just fucked my whole drink up. So you should be up here for a week. I don't know if I could be able to hang with you for a week. I feel like you probably would drink me under the table and then I wouldn't be able to get back up. Scott AB says, cheers all. Scott, welcome to the stream. Happy Saturday. Hopefully you guys, if you're betting on the March Madness debacles, hopefully you're hitting something good. You know, paying the kids' college fund off. If not, I'm here for you. Tux, he said, Canada Dry is the best ginger ale. First off, when I was thinking about this cocktail, I was walking in the store going, definitely getting Canada Dry. I may even get the Canada Dry cherry to spice it up. And then I saw this, and I just felt, I don't know, I felt drawn to it. This is 100% better than that. Like, there's not even, like, this isn't even, that stuff's not even ginger ale. This is ginger ale. That's sugar soda. This is less sugar, more ginger. Just overall better. I'm not sponsored, but I should be. Isaiah says, "What's your plan with the bracket?" I've been thinking about it, just trying to like figure out the best way to kind of like make it fair for you guys to watch, realistic for me to do as well, because I don't want to die trying to do it. I don't think it's like I could try to. It's 100 different blinds, so for me to try and do that, I'll create 100 shorts. I'd be here forever. It'd take me longer to edit that than March Madness. So I was like, I didn't prepare for that properly. So I think we just do it on like one big live stream and just do it like on a Saturday or something and just go full board, right? And just do all the blinds back to back to back to back. And it'd just be like one really long ass live stream. Like not starting late night, probably start at like noon and go to midnight type of thing. David says, I'm 66 and I got a video of Bigfoot sitting here with me drinking, doing a debut. Okay, David. Bigfoot, Alaska, swamp donkeys. I'm just saying, you're making my case for me. I said good time. You know what I mean? Scott says, I bet the house on St. John's, so no college. I'm here for you. You know what I mean? I get that. I feel that pain. Tux says, Canada Dry rules. Tux, just pick up one of these and then come back and let me know what you think. Isaiah said, that's insane. I know it's insane. He's like, that wasn't even the first time I heard that idea. I'm still surprised. I just feel like, one, you're watching for multiple reasons, right? And it's all about the content part of it for me. Like, how can I make it the best for you guys, make it the best for me? If I was going to do 100 blinds in a day, you're tuning in to see how I make it. You know, how I make it through. Who's the winner of that? You know what I mean? Nobody else is doing that. I can promise you. Nobody's doing a bracket that big either. So usually they spread this out over a month or two. In one night, I'm just saying, like, that's how we get it done around here. The other part of that is there's no way for it to look like I'm cheating. Right? I don't want anybody to think I'm cheating because that's a lot of the scrutiny I see on the other bourbon brackets is people think people are cheating, and that's ridiculous, but to each his own. But if I'm live, you'd be looking right at me. There's no way I could cheat. So I think that would be another way to make it more fair for you guys to see who the real winner is. So Isaiah says, if you shoot us, I need a front row seat. I know. I haven't exactly decided on the day, but I need to figure it out. It's definitely going to be a Saturday, I believe, because it's not my normal Friday stream. I can't do it on a Friday. I can't start at noon. It won't be a Sunday because I got work the next day. So says, what are we drinking tonight? Tonight, I'm starting off with a cocktail, something a little bit different than I'm used to. I was making a whiskey ginger, and then somebody pointed out that it's not whiskey. I have bourbon, so I'm making a bourbon ginger today. I put Wild Turkey 70th anniversary, 8-year age, mixed it with a little Fever Tree ginger ale, a little lime. So it's good. It's actually my one complaint about whiskey and bourbon in general is like when it's summer and it's hot, it's not like I don't want to go outside and drink a pour. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to just sip on whiskey outside when it's super hot. I want something light, refreshing, something to cool me down. That's typically when I go to cocktails. Old fashions don't do that because they're a little too sweet. But this feels like a nice whiskey / bourbon cocktail to drink during the summer. So I'm here for it. Braun says, what does alcohol taste like? Alcohol. David says, it's a great time to discover gold for the big fleet mining. I run a one-man wash pan. I would never get into big mining strips, mining they do, destroy the wilderness. Well, I'm glad you're out here protecting it then. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I would say is like those big mining things, they're just tearing apart the forest. Isaiah says, is it still whiskey ginger if you use bourbon? I know. Somebody called me out already. I'm going to say yes, but other people are going to tell me no. Artful Bourbon says, don't ruin the bourbon. Cheers, y'all. I'm not ruining it. This is good. Don't get me wrong. Now, would it be better neat? Absolutely. Right? As far as like bourbon standpoint goes. But sometimes you just want a nice refreshing cocktail and you don't want to use vodka. Because I don't like vodka. I don't care for gin too much, but this would be good with gin too. This is more like a gin and tonic. This is like a whiskey style of gin and tonic. That's why it's ginger ale, a little lime, bourbon. But I also usually try to say I'm going to drink the way I like to drink, what I want to drink, typically when I want to drink it. This is just one of those moments where I just wanted to explore and see what it was like. You know what I mean? I got a lot of whiskey in here. There's no way I could ever drink it all in my lifetime, just be me by myself. I couldn't. I mean, in my life, sure, if I stopped buying. But I'm not going to do that. Scott says, my first girlfriend was a whiskey ginger. I'm not sure if it was just like somebody that is ginger, or did you just fall in love with a cocktail? David says, I can't stand vodka and tequila. Or I can't stand vodka and tequila. I agree. I mean, I could deal with tequila if it's like a unique one, right? Or if it's Tuesday and we're having tacos at a taco place, I could do a margarita, like a jalapeno one, just for like fun, right? But I'm not drinking tequila straight up anymore. Not since COVID, basically. Vodka, no, I don't like vodka. The only time I've ever liked vodka in general is usually like the weird flavor ones. Like we have a chocolate vodka back there that we made like a chocolate raspberry martini for Valentine's Day for the wife. That was good, but it was all dessert, you know? Isaiah says, love vodka, hate tequila. I mean, I'm more of a whiskey, fan in general anyway. If I ever have the option, I'm drinking that. This was so good. I bet you the wife would like it. Because she doesn't like whiskey, but I have a feeling she would drink this. I'd have to make a whole nother one for her to do that, but I bet you it'd be better with rye. I feel like the rye, like earthiness, spiciness would just complement it pretty well. I don't need it to be sweet. That's not what I was going for. Raphael says, speaking of always buying whiskey, how often are you buying, and do you have the Penelope Valencia or Estate? So I don't have the Estate. Now, so I did win their raffle to go buy their whole Estate collection. I just couldn't get up there. I had a wedding and I couldn't get up there on the day that they did it. Then I didn't want to drive up there just to pick up 3 bottles. So I don't have those. I wish I did. But I have quite a few now. I have the barrel strength. I have the rosé cast finish. I have the wheated. The Valencia. I do have the Valencia. I actually do not like the Valencia. It's the only one that I'm like, I could do without. Now I could drink it if I mix it with something. I just don't care to drink that one neat. I do have the Toasted, the Architect, and the Havana. So, and I did pre-order the cigar blend that apparently nobody knows about yet. So I pre-ordered that through Total Wine. Arvil says, I could always do a good ginger. I don't think we're talking cocktails no more, are we, boys? Isaiah says, I actually quite different than most. Here, my rank goes wine, whiskey, vodka, gin, beer. Blasphemy. This guy says, I met my first girlfriend was a ginger that liked whiskey. Not a bad combo. David says there's a bar in Anchorage called Chica Club around the world. One beer from every country around the world. See, that's the kind of places I want to go. You could spend a whole day in there having fun, just tasting a beer from every country. Isaiah, I like wine, but I don't like wine. You know what I mean? Like, I like one or two. Like, I could count on this hand the wines that I would drink. Maybe. Like, I would drink the St. Augustine Red, St. Augustine Rosé, for some weird reason and nostalgic reason, Apothic Rosé. There's like this wine sangria that's a Florida local thing, and then like this Stella Berry. Those are all way too sweet. They're, like, I'm not drinking it for like, what's in here? You know what I mean? I'm just drinking it to drink it. A wine buzz is a good buzz though. Tux, banned. Rum, brandy, vodka, whiskey, then gin and tequila. Tux. We're gonna have to have a conversation. Anyways, let's pour that Four Roses real quick. I'm gonna call the wife in here for a second. Phoning a friend. I'm bourbon and bourbon and then bourbon. That's a good list there. I like how you switched it up each time.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Are you dressed for the stream?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have you come try a drink. I just need you to grab one of the ice cubes, one of the whatever you want to call it, this ginger ale that's in the fridge, and that lime slice that's on the counter.
The big one or small one?
The small one, just the one slice.
Okay. Ice that and okay.
Yeah, my big ice cube. In the. All right, bye. Davidson Dog says, I just subscribed. You're one of the best live streams. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. We're on the road to 2,500. There's a lot of people in my house right now. The kids' birthday party's tomorrow. It's crazy. Tuck says, LOL, Fireball only tops the whiskey, but I can't compare to rum. Tux, what? So then, if you're such a big rum fan, don't tell me like Kraken. Give me one rum that we should pick up for the channel. Isaiah says can't do sugary drinks. I don't typically drink sugar almost anything. There's sugar in bourbon, sugar in whiskey. I get that. Not additive, but it's sweet. I don't typically drink sugar stuff either. But every once in a while, I like to treat myself. Isaiah says diet. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of diet drinks. So I have my tis the season glass. Actually, where's my other one? Whatever. We'll use this. Raphael says, I had platinum rum barrel pick today. They age it in bourbon barrels, and they lean heavily on the bourbon side. Delicious. Plantation rum. Okay. I do, like, not that I feel like I would be the biggest rum person in the world. I definitely would not be the rum person you come see, but I feel like just to like explore it, right? From a bourbon whiskey kind of person, like what was my thoughts on like a few of like a little bit more than average rums would be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna drink it. I figured you could just drink it if not, but I figured you would like this, so that's the reason why I was talking about it.
Oh, then you go. Here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Hi, boys.
You want to grab that stool real quick?
Yeah.
I just had this. I was like, this is good. I feel like you would like it.
Okay.
So they're gonna give me shit because I called it a whiskey ginger, but I'm using bourbon. But it's a whiskey ginger.
Okay.
So you basically, it's simple. You're gonna take this. David says, tell your wife you're talking to your. Tell your wife you're taking her to Alaska to get drunk and chase swamp donkeys. I'll have to tell you that story after.
Okay.
It's
Hi, tuxedo.
You can rewatch it. Like I was like, David's the kind of guy like you're like bored and you go, I don't know what I got to do today, or I don't got anything to do. I'm gonna call him and you're just gonna get probably arrested. That's the vibe I was getting. Now that I'm pouring this, I don't know if you're gonna like it. Who knows? Who knows? Because it's simple. It's just.
We'll find out.
So just 2 ounces
Mm-hmm.
of whiskey or bourbon, and then there's no measurement here, but you're just gonna top it off with this. Try that real quick, by the way, just a little sip. This is ginger ale.
Oh.
It's just fancy ginger ale.
Very gingery.
Yeah, but is it not good?
No, it's really good.
Yeah, bro, that's some of the best ginger ale I've had.
Yeah, it's straight ginger. Yeah.
Yeah, it's less sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It says on the bottle.
I'm sure they can hear me. I don't have a mic on, but.
Yeah, you can get picked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Scott says, hello, Miss Call Me Old Fashioned. Artful says, I love vodka. I love water.
Hello, Scott.
Piece of that lime got in there. You're not gonna like that. I'm like 90% sure I did the measurement wrong. I just couldn't figure it out from there. You can try it now.
I can smell the whiskey.
I think I put a little bit too much whiskey. I think I did like 3 ounces on accident.
All right, raw and real. Ooh, that's not bad. Wow.
We got her, boys.
Wow.
We got her.
That's
It
really
needs a
not
little bit
bad.
of lime. That's a small lime. It needs just a hair bit more of the lime. Because I had a...
See, this is an actual drink that I could sip on.
Yeah.
Like, I normally...
Arvil says that Wild Turkey's crying so much ginger. It is. She doesn't like whiskey, though. What's funny, though, is like, you just drank, like... What did you just drink? Wild Turkey's 70th anniversary release, 8-year aged Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
This is probably the first bourbon or
for sure
drink that you've ever
for
that I've
sure
ever liked.
Yeah, the only one you've ever been like I can go back for a second sip.
Yeah.
Normally she even like comes close and she's like she does not drink dark liquor.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it.
Yeah.
'Cause that drink's gonna go in that cocktail video I'm doing. So I just came on to like test around with that one.
Yeah. No joke. That's good. And I don't like whiskey, so.
So cool. All right. That's it. That's
All
all I
right.
need you for. You can take the cocktail. You can give it to Olivia or whoever.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Love you.
Love you. All right, boys, we did it. We accomplished. We got the wife to drink a whiskey cocktail. I told you, all we had to do was work her down. We started with a little bourbon cream, right? Started doing a little bit of thing. Then all of a sudden boom, whiskey cocktail. I missed some of the chat. Let's see. David says the closest cop that's near to me is like 60 miles. Damn. I just meant like if you were here. I don't know what it's like in Alaska. I've never been. David says, I hate my sister, but if I owned a bar, she would be in full charge of the bar. Okay. That's pretty cool. Rafael says, do you have a video doing a tour of your whiskey bar / room? So this room's kind of small. So if I just like widen the camera, like that's the room. The rest of it's not too impressive. I am working on this half of the room because I want to make it like a 3-scene type of thing where I can clip to each part. But I do have a video going over my entire bourbon collection from New Year's. That was a live stream. Tuck says, bro didn't show EH to fuck this dude. What did I not show her? Oh, he said, I sent you a picture of the rum that shows EH, show EH. There's shipwreck rum. What picture? This? What? Why would she doesn't care about rum. I'm confused. Harris in the chat says, yo, Harris, welcome, or Harrison. I'm like all over the place with my reading tonight, boys. If you guys didn't know, I'm dyslexic as fuck. So if I'm not dialed in, that's my bad. Scott says, hey, this is a kid show. Kid show. My bad. My bad, Dad. I'll keep it PG. Isaiah says, when do you plan on drinking 100 pours? Bro, I just told you I don't know yet. I'm thinking next weekend would be ideal. I just don't know if I can actually like confirm, like commit to that date. If it's not, then it'll be the following weekend. Bro, David, you're cracking me up here. He goes, there's only one rum, Bacardi. That would be like something that I would have said when I was like 21, for sure. Only 21. It's Hendrix, right? Sean Hendrix says hi. Sean, welcome. Hendrix? I don't remember his fucking name. I think it's Hendrix. I know. Tuck says, dang, after entire months. Hey, welcome back. Hey, all I gotta do is go live on a Saturday. Everybody pours in. Maybe I need to switch my lives to Saturdays. I'm just saying. Let's pour up the Four Roses real quick. So I do want a little pour of the Spice Daddy here, but I just realized my glands are dirty. Do I even have any in here? That's not good. Well, boys. I have a Glen. I think they're in the dishwasher. She's gonna bring them. Tuck said, or David says, I'm 100% American and support American breweries. Harrison says, yeah, and oh yeah. Isaiah says, I think you need to rephrase that to, I just realized I need more Glens. Well, last night I kind of tore through them. And then I got off the stream. And then I tore through the last of them. And normally I'm pretty good. Normally, like I end a stream, I clean the whole room up, make it look nice and pretty. I put all the glasses in the dishwasher, start the dishwasher, and then go to bed. I left this room, started drinking, and then I passed out. I really passed out. I ate pizza, I was watching TV, and then just fell asleep. Arlo says, you never have enough Glens. That's one. So I'm pretty bad. I break a lot of mine. Like pretty often. Like pretty often. Like I'll just be carrying too much stuff to the kitchen and I'll drop one. This room doesn't have like a wet bar, like a sink. But if it did, I probably would be one of two things: be filled with broken glass, or I'd have clean Glens all the time. I don't think she saw my text. I have to call her. Phoning a friend. It's my second lifeline. Harrison says my wife breaks my glasses. That's savage. She's not answering me. He's like, so you need a bigger tray. I don't use trays. I usually just carry them out there like... We're all types of weird streams tonight. We're going rocks glass because I'm not waiting. I'm phoning my second wife. Try not to read it in your voice. So I'm not even going to read it out loud. The Bobby says, OF. Hope your night's going well. It's going pretty good. It's a Saturday. We're just kind of hanging and vibing. We made some weird cocktails, something I'm not usually doing, but now we're going back to having a pour. I don't even have a clean Glen. We're all over the place. David says, my buddy who retired from the Navy, and he asked me about my German Shepherd. Told him she's made it through the Bud's class. When he asked the class number, I told him Skunk Buddy class of 420. Arful says, my wife always washes my glasses. The Bobby says, can you recommend a Four Roses? That good? Yeah, I mean, I like Four Roses. So I had the Four Roses, just normal basic offering at my wedding. I thought that was a pretty well-liked, crowd pleaser for people that weren't, super into whiskey. Fairly affordable. This one's a little bit more pricey because this one's a single barrel, 61% alcohol, so it's got some oomph to it. But I've never even met anybody that's had Four Roses and goes, I don't like that. Usually they like it in some capacity, so I think all Four Roses are decent. It just depends on, how much you like it is how much you'll spend on it. Scott says, what Four Roses recipe you sipping on now? This one, oh Jesus, this little hang tag's annoying. This one is a 11-year age, 3 months. It's a OESF, 70% corn, or 75% corn, 20% rye, and 5% malted barley at 61% alcohol. Barrel number 90-4E from warehouse number NS. So, there you have it. It's all the deets. So what's crazy is the first time I poured this one, I bought the bottle and then I brought it up to North Carolina. I stayed at the Cherokee Hotel, the casino. And I was like, I'm going to go live from the casino. We're going to have a good time. I didn't go live because I was tired because I drove forever. And then I was like, you know what? I still want to pour. And I forgot my Glens. Weirdly enough, apparently the Four Roses is cursed. I can't ever get a Glen with the Four Roses, I guess. But all they had in the hotel was these little plastic water cup things. And I was like, that'll work. You know what I mean? I'm not that pretentious. And I poured it in that plastic cup and I was like, this is horrible. Just a bad experience. It wasn't because of the whiskey. It was because that plastic cup just didn't sit right with me. Arville says, Four Roses are the baseline compared to all other bourbons. I like that take. I will say this one's, bro, it's spicy. But it's got really good flavor. You know, it's got a lot there to it. That's one of the things that does impress me about these single barrels, is especially the higher proof ones. It's not like they're too much where you can't drink them, but it's just got a lot of complexity to it. Like you can kind of sit there and just like pick out different things. Mint is one of the more standout ones. You know, dried red fruit. You obviously get like the basic stuff, but even like the basic stuff, because of the proof, it kind of like isn't as completely there. Like the vanilla and the caramel stuff. Obviously, like some spice, but that could be proof or it could be cinnamon. I'm not 100% sure. But the mint part kind of stands out to me. But the mint's on the finish, which I do like a lot because it almost is like, it's like having a little mint after dinner, you know? So, Ask said, agreed. It's what started it for me. Now my wallet hurts. I feel that comment. I feel like that comment is me in the future responding to myself. It's Four Roses is one of the earlier ones that I tried, and I was like, this is good. Let's try Woodford's, right? And then we got Woodford's, then we got Elijah Craig and Angels, and I said, wow, whiskey can be different. Let's get Woodford's Double Oak. And when I got Woodford's Double Oak, that's when it all completely changed. I go, there's got to be whiskey that's even better out there than this, and this is incredible. And then, I mean, for anybody that's not seen my shelves, we got 3 stacked shelves plus bottles on this bookshelf that's filled. I got bottles over there. I got more bottles than a bar in a liquor store at this point. So, Scott says, have you tried the new Four Roses single barrel collection, the 100 proof bottles? I have not. That's what we were talking about earlier. Somebody was debating it against the E.H. Taylor small batch because both of them are 100 proof. They did say that they chose the Four Roses over it. I have not had them. Only because like Four Roses has so many different offerings that you almost like. I'm not shitting on them, but like let me like semi shit on them for a second. The brand Barrel has some really good whiskeys out there. I don't own any of them because I have zero idea what I'm picking up half the time. It's just not super clear, right? It's just like it's Barrel, but you don't know anything past that until you really start paying attention to it. Four Roses is similar. Four Roses has so many different recipe offerings, right? It's on here on the name tag. There's so many that you can't even see the print is so small, you know? So when you see this one compared to the other 7 that could be sitting there, you're like, well, I don't need all 7. I just need 1. And like which one to buy. So you almost get like confused as you're going to buy it. Then they threw in 3 new red label ones. You're like, well, okay, which one of those 3 do I need to get? You know? So Four Roses doesn't do themselves any help in that area. I'd say release them one at a time and make it really well known, like exactly what you're getting, rather than ship it. You know, not that like I'll figure it out. Someone that really cares to find out, but the average person walking in, they're not gonna know what the difference is. David says, well, it's not nice to mix friends. It's not nice to mix friends. My friend Jack Daniels and his 2 cousins, Johnny Walker Red and Black Label, chasing the wild turkey. Sounds like a good night to me. Ash says, I think they shot themselves in the foot. They create more competition for their own line. A better way of saying what I just said, but yes. Because when I see 3, then I'm like, well, okay, well, let me hold off. Now, don't let me buy it right now. Let me go home and research 3, which loses them the sale because then I'm going to forget. The only reason I got this single barrel is because I didn't even look at which one I was picking up. I said, I need to get one, and I grabbed it. That, and I was getting a little ticket to win a whole barrel. So Juan says, "Did you already start your March Madness blind?" Juan, no, I'm a psychopath, and I think everybody's gonna learn that here soon. I think I'm gonna do the entire giant bracket in one giant live stream on a Saturday where we start at noon and then just full send the entire thing all at once. So because I don't personally have enough time to make over 100 different shorts. I don't have enough time to edit all that. I could do it in phases, but then like that's multiple nights that I have to make the wife come in here and do it. I could have one friend come over here and we'll just spend the day drinking. Harrison says, "Any chance you trade Hill?" Harrison, are you in the fantasy league? What's happening here? Are we talking about Tyreek Hill? Well, I don't even know what we're talking about, Harrison. Juan says, "Left my ass off." Hey, I will say, with that idea, nobody's seen that before. It's over 100 different blinds. So, Isaiah says, "I volunteer as trivia." You just want to try each pour. You just want to come siphon off the bottles and be like, "Let me have a little sample of this." Juan says, "You're going to be a little drunk after that." I'm not saying I won't be lit up. But it wouldn't be like a Friday stream where we do it from, 9 to midnight. It would be something where we do a Saturday, start at maybe 12 and go till like at least 12 o'clock at night and just kind of space it out. So he's like, "Yes, not in fantasy." Any chance? I don't have Tyreek Hill. I'm not his manager, but I want Hill to stay. I want Tyreek Hill to stay in Miami and give me one more year of him. Just one more year. Because I feel like we could do something. But we just haven't. We've had some shitty luck. Juan says, "I'm only going to do a 16 bracket, probably start tonight." I'd love to hear your results. I should lower the bracket. But there's no postseason in the Hall of Fame, So can't do that. Boris says, "Yes, sir." Or year. Raphael says, "Can't lie. Skip through your New Year's stream to see your bottle collection. I'm very upset with your take on early times. Thought you were a good guy." Damn, savage. Raphael, so I will say this. As much as I hear about the early times bottle and bond, I personally think my bottle might be bad because I don't get anything that anybody else gets. And it feels very, I don't know. It just doesn't feel good at all. Like, I wish I could let you have the bottle and you'd be like, "Yeah, your bottle's got bleach in it." You know what I mean? I don't know what's in there, but it's not, there's something wrong with my bottle. Because I've drank it multiple times and I'm just not a fan at all. Like, it's not super bad, but it has a really bad aftertaste. And the longer I've let it sit, the worse it's gotten. So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I thought I was a good guy too. Sorry, I'm a piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you. David says, "It's funny when Canada pulled American made off their shelves. Here in America, we still buy Canadian made. I'm damn proud to be American." I mean, they need us. We don't need them. I don't know what to tell you. I said, "Real question is, what are you eating with that many drinks?" I mean, I'm a fat kid, so we're gonna have to eat throughout too, right? We're gonna have to go with pizza. That's a go-to. Maybe we order. Just thinking. What if we did like the Hot Ones challenge, but maybe from like Buffalo Wild Wings or something? I don't know. I'm just spitballing. And but in between, like every round or every like, I can't be every bracket, right? That would be too many. But in between so many, we'll do like another wing, which is like a spicier level, and just go up. I feel like we're having too many wheels spinning, but we can figure it out. Arful says the Dolphins are going to win a Super Bowl this year. Arful, I appreciate you saying that. I'm a big Dolphin fan, so appreciate that. Isaiah says lower the bracket. I didn't know you sit when you pee. I said no, but it would be smart if I did, but I'm not going to do that. RMC says, damn, I'm late. You are late. Boys, if you're just now tuning in and you haven't already, drop a little like on stream. It does help us grow. So do that. Subscribe if you haven't already, but I feel like everybody's subscribed already. Artful says, early times kills so many allocated bottles. See, I see comments like this, right? And I go, the bottle I personally have couldn't kill a fly. Like, it is, I'm going to pull it down. I'm pulling it down. Let's put the Four Roses back. She still didn't bring my Glen. I need an actual Glen for that. It just personally, it just doesn't. I feel like there's something wrong with it because like, everybody talks about how good it is, and I'm like, no. Like it does have like a few like redeeming qualities, but overall like not that great. And I just think it's my bottle. Isaiah says, "What are we going to do when you puke?" I'm not gonna puke. Juan says, "Start on the bracket tonight." I'm not gonna do that because I need graphics. I need it to look good. You know what I mean? And it would be on the wide version, not the up and down stream for sure, because that's gonna be there for a long time on the channel. Rafa says, "Hello, dude. I randomly tune into one of your lives, and I'm hooked. You're a good vibe despite your bad taste." Hey, I'm here for it. You know, I appreciate it, bro. What a backhanded comment. He's like, "You're great, but also you fucking suck." Dave says, "Moose steak, reindeer sausage soaks up the alcohol so you can drink more." I don't know where I'm gonna find a moose or a reindeer. So yeah, maybe we find just the pizza. What's your taste notes on it? I'm getting a Glen and I'll ramble them off to you. I've had it a few times. I know I get cherry, but it's like medicinal cherry. Um, I can't remember past that right now. I just remember the aftertaste is just so bad, like chemical burn bad. Like it's just ugh. So I can't remember because I haven't drank it in a minute. Harrison says, "Can't let that stand." Okay. Scott says the early times may or may not be definitely took down 1924 tonight. Not my proudest moment. Scott, no fucking shot. No shot. No shot at all. 1924 is slowly growing to be one of my favorites this year that I've opened. Early times, maybe like we're talking about this bottle, right? Like I don't have a different bottle. This is early times, old style, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, bottled and bond, 100 proof. Bro, what the fuck is she doing? Let me go grab a Glen. I'm gonna go grab one. I'm filming. All right. We have Glens, boys. So, that's it. Yeah, no, 1924 is one of my favorites this year. I don't. It also, that one kind of very much fits with what my profile would want, but you never know. So, never know unless you do a blind, but I can't do a blind tonight. Artful says, your ET sucks big balls. Harrison says, because she hasn't brought you a Glen, lol. She's just out there talking. But she texted me, she's like, you still need one? I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, bring my Glen. Arfel says, get this man a Glen. He needs a drink. I'm not asking for much. They were clean. It wasn't like she had to clean them. Scott says, 1924 is so good. I agree. It's amazing. But early times took it down. I kid you not. Same mash bill, 100 proof. Just blind it. So the reason why I say I couldn't win against mine is because 1924 has like some of the notes that are like really easy for me to pick up, but it also is what I personally like to drink the most. I like the desserty stuff. Like if I had a choice, I'm going more desserty. It's just what I gravitate towards. Early times, at least this bottle is like, ooh, Windex. I'm kidding. Let me pour it up first before I talk too much more shit about it. Raphael says, I'll put it this way. I had my die-hard Buffalo Trace fanboy friend try early times without telling him what it was, and all he said was, I have a new favorite bottle, so I think you got a bad one. That's the kind of stuff that I see everybody talk about, and then I got it, and I'm like, this is disgusting. Why does anybody like this? And I said, you know what? It probably needs to open up. I let it sit for like 2 months. Went back to it. I'm like, it got better, but it's not good. And then I was like, I drank it like 1 or 2 more times randomly, and I was like, I just left it up there. You can see the dust on this bad boy. Like it's thick. As says 1942. If only it was $20 cheaper. Or 1924, he says. I understand. I feel like the price is going to drop just because it's sitting in a lot of places. But originally, I didn't understand the hype. I was like, yeah, it's a little too much of a price too. But I'm here for it. I don't want to pay. I'd love it to be cheaper, but I'm not reading that text. All right, let's pour up the early times. And I'm going to get this other stuff up here real quick. Is your guys' early times a twist cap or a cork? Maybe that's why. Maybe I got ripped off and it's really just supposed to have a cork. It's a blue top. Artful says, send your early times to me. I'll tell you if it's bad. He also says 1924 is a great pour, worth every penny. It's been one of my go-tos. 1924 is, as far as like whenever I'm just hanging out, I'm like, you know what? I want a little bit of something. And because it's like only 100 proof, not like 120 or something like that, like I can go to it fairly often and not feel like, let me prepare for this. The higher proof stuff, especially when I stream, like I gotta prepare a little bit more. All right. On the nose, it's not bad. It's got a ton of ethanol though. Basic notes, vanilla, caramel. I get a cherry note though, but I have a feeling it's going to be that weird medicinal cherry though, just from nose. That I'm not trying to let past experience influence this, so it definitely isn't as bad as I remember on the nose. But I remember the nose also being fairly good. Um, I agree. At the same time, I'm also saddened to say that that's probably factual, just because the 1920 was one of my favorite ones for a while, but I haven't gone to it in I don't know how long. So no, it's like cough. If it's like cough medicine, like it starts off with like this like super like light caramel feeling, and then it kind of transitions to like this like vanilla cherry, right? And the cherry is super sweet cherry, and then it immediately turns to medicine. It's almost like it's like they took cough medicine, put a little dab on the syringe, so as you're like a kid about to take it, it hits you with the medicine. You're like, but I'll just swallow it because I'm a good sport at it, you know. Boris says, I've never tried early times. Don't hate me, guys. Everybody else is hyping it up. My bottom camera died. You guys could have told me. Let me swap that real quick. Wouldn't be a live stream, right, boys? Wouldn't be a live stream. Um, you know what's funny? Like the finish of it is like lengthwise. If you're like, hey, how is the finish? No, tasting notes aside, the finish is like medium, like medium long. Like it's a decent finish for 100 proof. Like it's got a lot of like sweetness to it though. Boar says, all right, read that. Juan says, I've blinded them multiple times and they always flip on which one wins. That's crazy. I mean, I love the blinded. Anytime I've ever went to this, I've never like had a chance, but I wanted to like this. When I got this, I thought like I was like, holy shit, we got an allocated bottle for $20 because this was allocated in some places. Um, but I don't understand why at all. He says your face says it all. I will say, if I go to another state and I find another bottle, not where around here, just for the one-off chance, I'll pick up one more bottle just so I can try it and be like, hey, is it this bottle? Because I have a feeling there's no way that this many people are talking about this bottle the way I'm currently drinking it and going, yeah, this is it. No. Um, yeah, it's like Robitussin. Robitussin with cherry and vanilla. It's like a vanilla cherry Robitussin. No, not like no spice, just all ethanol. One more bottle for the dabble. You know, I tend to dabble into a few things. And for $20, like budget like this, like I'm okay with taking that risk one more time just to see, especially how much everybody loves it. If this was like 50 plus, it would just be one of those bottles we'll have to agree to disagree. But I do think, based off of y'all's reviews, the way people talk about it, I have a feeling it's this bottle. I just don't know what could have went so far wrong with it. Raphael says, send me and Arthur a sample and we'll figure it out for you. I may need to. But also, like, I'd love to give this bottle away, but I'm also like, it's part of like the fun of whiskey, like how bad this one is for what everybody hypes it up. Because it has potential, right? Like, I love a good cherry note, but it's like super sweet cherry. Super sweet cherry. The finish being that long, again, potential. Like, I love a good long finish there, but but like the aftertaste of it is just not that great. Artful says, just did an Old Forester 1924. Old Forester single barrel, 100 proof. Early times blind, and they finished in that order, but all were so close. I mean, yeah, 1924 would probably win that for me. Tuck says Penelope. Elope. Artful says early times, best value in bourbon. No. Old Granddad 114 is going to be up there for me. And even after yesterday, Benchmark Foolproof, another super good banger budget bottle. Carson says, call me old fashioned. Welcome to the stream, baby. 2A says, early times in Ohio is $27. Great value. You know, granted, like, maybe I'm looking at it wrong way, but for bottles under $30, it's hard for me to be like, that's not good, right? Because I understand it's less money for a reason, right? Whether if it's less age or whatever, right? And I'm all for like something being like mediocre but really cheap. Like, that's a good value to me. Not mediocre, but like good. Sorry, boys. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not sick. I can't take medicine. I'm not sick. So what's funny is there's quite a few bottles that a lot of people give me shit for. But I just try to tell you guys my honest thoughts, because if I don't, who's gonna, right? Same thing with McKenna 10-year. Henry McKenna 10-year had one of my favorite pours for like this one bottle I had. It was incredible. Then the next bottle was so bad that I'm like, why are these so different? The batches are so hit or miss that I can't even recommend it anymore. I mean, by all means, if you get a good one, you got a good one. But if you don't, then you're pissed. The price is too much to risk, in my opinion. Daily Knife says, not a huge fan of that one. Recently, getting into whiskey. Daily Knife, which one do you like right now? Let's start there. Scott says, I know you love your Old Granddad 114, but early times just great value bottle. Probably better than Old Granddad 114 in my opinion. You may be right. If I get another bottle, like, I need to give it another shot then, but Old Granddad 114 is money. And I refused. I didn't get it for a while. You can ask IROC. IROC was preaching it to me, and I'm like, okay, pipe down. It's fine. As it says, you should pour up 85% Penelope Architect with Benchmark Foolproof. Are we going back to the blending thing again? I don't have that much Architect, so I can't do that one. But Daily Knife says, still Austin, cast strength. That's a great bottle to get into in general. So you're on the right track. Car alarms are going off. All right. Let's do like 1 or 2 more pours, or 5 more, or 17 more. You guys kind of know my collection. What would you want to see me pour up next? You guys can fire off in the comments, and we'll pour something up. I got a few bottles in here. Raphael says, what's the most allocated bourbon you currently own? Maybe these two. 13th Colony Double Oak 2024 and Russell's 15 2024. So we'll go with those. Isaiah says, that's fine. Try to grab a Penelope 10. That blend is money. Oh, did you do it already? You already kind of tested that out? Daily Night says, been a while. Brother, how have you been? We changed our name, so you may not recognize the channel. Wait, is that donut? Is that crispy? Tuck, stop. I'm not blending the shit you say. Jack Daniel for double again. Ash says, some Redwood Empire go-to from my home state. I have all of them. So this whole shelf is Redwood Empire. Artful says, what the fuck is that on the bar? What do you mean? The bottles? Daily Knife? I like that. That's a good name change. Like, I like the Crispy Donut one name too, but I feel like the Daily Knife goes better with your channel. News about whiskey says, how's everybody doing tonight? Well, news about whiskey, we're doing pretty good. We're just having a little hangout sesh, drinking some whiskey, making some cocktails, doing a hood rat shit with our friends. Scott says 13th Colony Double Oak is like biting into a salty steak with chocolate drizzled over it. No, it's not. Not even close. I understand, like, it definitely has like its own unique taste. So like, I did, like, just like I said with a regular 13th Colony, it's not for everybody, for sure. Like, there's some people that won't like it. I like this one a lot. It's a different take on Double Oak with still having it does have the chocolate note for sure, but that's one of my favorite notes in a Double Oak. So Arvel says, on the table, what is that on the screen? Never had those. Blinding these? There would be no reason to blind them because they're fairly distinct in their own way. But if they make it to each other in the bourbon bracket we end up doing, then eventually. But this one is so like punchy and unique that like I could tell which one's which. The same thing for the Russells. Russells kind of has its own like fruit roll-up style sweetness that, you know, red fruit feel. Dave the Night says, thanks, brothers. Brother, what are your thoughts on Blanton's? Keep hearing mix of it is best versus it's only because the bottle shape. Don't want to waste $100 on the bottle. It's not worth it. Do not spend $100 on Blanton's, in my opinion. It's good, but MSRP of Blanton's is, I believe, like $65, and that is what it's worth. Now, if you don't have one and you want one just because it is cool, like 75 tops, but anything farther than that, you're kind of like pushing it. But again, your money, your bourbon, buy and drink what you want. But I still have mine from last year, and I keep it so we can talk about it. But it's not worth $100. I paid $110 for mine, and I'm kind of mad about it. But I only did that for the channel. I do, but I feel like you're kind of talking smack, but I'm making me Jack Coke. David says Southern Comfort isn't bad with orange juice and tomatoes. Colin Glass, we call them Sneaky Pete's. Artful says Blanton is for beginners. I mean, it's pretty. I feel like that's kind of like everybody's like first allocated bottle when they get into starting whiskey, which is kind of valid. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna. Boris says I'm dead ass on me. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I mean, that video got like a lot of like heat from it. All right, let's do a little poll. Potato says, "Are you making drinks?" I'm out here just slinging the drinks, baby. I'm doing a little bit of everything. He also says hi that I missed it. I was doing something. Tuck says, "I love your fries." Good. Oh, potato, bro. That's a great comment. Great response. Daly says, "I appreciate the advice from everyone on that. I definitely avoid it. I have been drinking some Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, 11.7 years, if that means anything. I mean, it's good. I like Elijah Craig. I think the Barrel Proof too. To me, I've had enough of them that I don't typically buy them anymore. But that's just because it was like a hot commodity kind of a couple years ago. I've been sticking to a little bit more of different things lately. Um, New Rift, Still Austin, Redwood Empire. I've been diving a little bit more into Penelope, even though I know it's MGP, but just for fun. Scott says 13th Colony Double Oak is meaty, straight up meat, bacon, steak, mid rare, burger with chocolate. You cannot convince me otherwise. I just remembered you'd made that comment before. I don't get meaty. I don't get meaty. If we do it when we do it blind, if I get meaty, I'm gonna lose my mind. $60 for the barrel proof. That is a steal. I don't even know. I feel like last time I paid for one it was like $100 or like $80, something like that. Guys, if you're just tuning in, drop a little like on the stream. It does help us grow, grab new family members. If you haven't, of course, what are we doing? Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 25 hundo. All right, looks like majority is saying we should blend 2 bottles instead of just a normal pour. I'm not saying blend these two. That would be fucking crazy, but also a big waste. So we need to figure out what we're gonna blend. We're gonna go ahead and end this one. You guys start naming off some bourbons or whiskeys you want me to blend. Potato just subscribed. Bro, we got spuds in the chat. Welcome to the family, Potato. You've always been part of the family in my book. Wait, what just happened? Oh, I ended the poll. That's what that was. I thought somebody got banned. Arvel says, like and subscribe. Blend the Russells and 13th Colony Double Oak. Those don't even go well together. Like, I already know that. I don't want to waste those. But I don't mind, like, blending, like, something. I got some other stuff in here. But these two kind of, in my opinion, would be a waste. David said, unfortunately, I buy my alcohol by the case. I don't mix and match. 7-hour trip from Chick in Alaska to Fairbanks, so it's more efficient. So just buy bourbon and whiskey. Juan says, try your hand at making a burr rye from your collection. Okay. Somebody name off either one bourbon or one rye as our base, and then I'll let you guys vote on the other one. Or just in general. Somebody fire off some bottles here. What could be a good a good choice for a blend? Rare breed. Boris. I was just looking at the rare breed, so I'm gonna put my fat daddies back for a second. Let's do rare breed bourbon. That's always a good go-to. Why is that not focused? Something's wrong with the camera here. Something's wrong. Excuse me. Penelope Rye. I don't have Penelope Rye. I should have Penelope Rye though. Daly says, I'm still trying to find my go-to. The Elijah Craig is good. I like my Still Austin cash strength, but I don't know what to try next. I have tried Weller Special Reserve early times and the one you had on screen a little bit ago. Try New Rift. New Rift is a newer brand in a sense, sending out some bangers. You can find single barrels that are really good, but their normal stuff is also really great. So if you guys are pretty set on making a burr rye, let's say you guys can kind of vote on that with the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye, or let's do, I don't know, Heaven Hill Grain to Glass. David, sorry, I'm borrowing this one from you for the night at least. News About Whiskey says Wild Turkey line is solid. It is. Nothing wrong with any of them so far. I'm tallying the votes. A lot of people saying Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye over the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye. That's surprising. Make a Wild Turkey Burr Rye. Could be the winner. Could be the winner. It's like you're only missing the screwball. Screwball. I mean, Wild Turkey should come out with like a little burr rye. That's a hell of a combo. I don't know if I'm like the best person in the world to like come up with their blend, but I mean, I'm out here doing the people's work at this point. Boris says Screwball and Coke is a guilty pleasure of mine. That doesn't sound good. I'm not a big fan of the Screwball stuff. We'll let the poll go about another minute, and then we'll pour something up here. So get your votes in if you want to vote. If you haven't already, drop a little like on the stream. Subscribe. If you are new, we are on the road to 25 hundo subscribers. News About Whiskey says, I have all three Heaven Hill grain to glass. Do you think that would be a good blend? I mean, do I? I'm sure it would be something interesting. The blue label, just the Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, I probably would leave that out because that's just like normal. Not that it would be bad, but I feel like you probably get like a more unique one from just mixing the wheated and the rye. That'd be kind of fun. I can't find the wheated anywhere, so. All right, let's check the poll. Oh, it's almost 50-50. I might have to let it go for another minute real quick. Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye and Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye. 42% and 58%. We're one vote apart, people. I don't care which one, to be honest. To me, it's all the same. I'm gonna pour it up regardless. We did this yesterday too, where we kind of blended a bunch of different stuff. There was one that was really good. I think they all kind of slowly worked up. I think it was like 6.2, 6.3, and then like a 7 or 8. Something was banging. Can't remember off the top of my head. Let's do a little splash of water here. All right. With 5 minutes on the board, Wild Turkey Rare Breeds at 54%, Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye at 46%. I think we're going to have to go with the Wild Turkeys. We're going to have a turkey party. So, we'll do that now. Maybe we do one more with the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass if you guys are really dying to see that. Should we do 50-50? Or should we do like a 75-25? I'm not going to create a poll for that. Like, if anybody has a particular recommendation, feel free to fire that off. History Channel, Discovery Channel, isn't it all the same thing there? So just in case anybody is new and don't know, Wild Turkey Rare Breed is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, barrel proof, 116.8 proof. And then you have the Wild Turkey Rare Breed barrel proof rye, which is 112.2 proof. So, if you had to like combine them, we're probably looking at 114-ish proof. We're going to go 50-50. Little 50-50. Great idea. Great idea. News About Whiskey says just start with 50-50 because you can just add more of one or add more of both. The only issue with doing that is sometimes like it's harder to kind of get back to that same point, but I get where your head's at. That is got some zing to it, zang going there. A little blend for just a second. All right. Let's give this one a little nose test. It's got a lot of ethanol on the nose. I feel like it's still, it feels, it's stupid fucking to say that. It feels like Wild Turkey, right? It feels more bourbon than rye, which is kind of how I would prefer it anyway. I'd rather lean more bourbon than rye if I had to pick. It's kind of all sweetness. You get a little bit of that citrusy kind of spice note from the rye, though. Yeah, Wild Turkey. Go ahead and send over a contract. I got an idea for you. Bro, this is money. Am I missing something? Do they already have one out? It's like, I feel like I'm about to sing Hannah Montana and say this is the best of both worlds. Mr. Mom in the chat says, cheers everyone from New England, or I'm sorry, Northeast Oklahoma. I didn't see the other part. The one and only Nicole says, it's the way the gay whiskey guy again. Oh, that's good. I'm not gay, by the way, but I'm here for it. You can call me gay. What do I give a fuck? I love how you just boom kicks door open. Gay. I was just quoting Hannah Montana, so like your argument's valid. Vision said, "How did you enjoy that Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary?" I love the Wild Turkey 70th. It's good. 101 proof, approachable. I feel like the age on it had a little bit extra zing to it. Now, was it the best use of it in a whiskey ginger? No. I could have used something else. It would have been just as good in a cocktail, and less of a waste on expensive whiskey. But you never know. David said, "You sure have a fine-looking woman for being gay." You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like that. Yeah, for a blend of these two, like I'm not saying I drawled it up perfectly on the pours, but I did, because it has like that nice like sweetness level, like vanilla caramel sweetness. It just kind of blends really well with that spice from the rye. The rye though comes through kind of more citrus and earthy, but it just hits like perfect. I don't even know how to explain it because of that. It's like yeah, best used straight. I'm not saying it is best used straight for sure. No arguments there. But I drank it anyway. But it was good. It was a good cocktail. But you're getting more out of that bottle straight up for sure. I like what it does to the finish. It almost like starts off sweet, goes into the spice, and then kind of mellows out, hits the finish. When it hits the finish, though, it's still keeping in that medium range. Bro, that's a weird kind of blend. It's like cherries and floral all at the same time. You know? Somebody else pour this up. Somebody else try it with me. It's money. the Wild Turkey for sure. If they were watching, I'm not saying it has to be this high of proof, right? I'm not saying go blend the rare breeds exactly. But they should make a Burr rye. You know, they should get something in that realm. You know, they don't have to do my blend, but do something in that realm. I think that would do pretty well, market wise and just for me. Dave says, "What do you think about Crown Royal?" Crown Royal was one of the first whiskeys in general that I drank. I think it's a really good mixer for fun, right? And their flavors sometimes are like fun to mess around with. But like, if you were gonna ask me, do I want Crown Royal straight up? Probably not. I like that Crown Royal Blackberry, even though a lot of people don't. But I only like it in like lemonade and Sprite. But besides that, it's kind of like medicine-y. It says, no doubt, enjoyed it how you do it. I mean, enjoy your whiskey the way you want to. It's your bottle, it's your money. Do whatever you want, guys. I'm just doing different stuff just for fun. You know what I mean? What I say is not the gospel by any means, but at the same time, I'll give you my thoughts. Some people have similar palates, so maybe you like the stuff that I do try. The cocktail stuff, I mean, I do think I have one of the better old fashions in the business, but the pours and like the weird like mixing with soda stuff, don't listen. Like try your own version. That's all I'm doing. It's just sparking inspiration for you guys. Mr. Mom says, went to Dallas last week, placed an order for 3 bottles of George T. Stagg Brown, bottle and bond. Wait. What am I talking about? JTS Brown, bottle and bond. Got the 80 instead. Called them when I noticed, got a refund on them, and got to keep them. Okay. I'm here for it. I don't think we're talking George T. Stagg anymore. Crown Wrong instead of Crown Royal. I think Crown Royal has its own little place. It's just not for most whiskey connoisseurs, I'd say. But like whiskeys, Crown Royal in general is like when you just want to get tore up for cheap but want to feel a little bougie, that's what Crown Royal is for. Because the little fancy bottle, decent price, it's just not that like great, you know. Back in the day, I used to mix Crown Royal and Red Mountain Dew. That was like the go-to drink right when I turned 21. So. That's money. That's money. I wish I made like a bigger pour. I should make an infinity bottle with just those two. 50-50 it. Vision says, scored early times bottled and bond yesterday. Usually allocated in my area. Blue cap tastes different than black cap to me. I don't know if you just scrolled back and you saw that part of the video, or are you just now talking about that? Because that's crazy. We just were talking about it. But Crown comes with a bag. It does. But so does Caribou, and I hate Caribou. So I have the Crown Royal bag. So I do like the bags. Like the bags are very nifty. And those people that are turning those Hey Dudes into, or the Crown Royal bags, I don't know what you would want to call it, combining it with the Hey Dudes, trying to get into shoes, those are kind of cool. Mad Dog 2020, God, Jesus Christ, that's a long time ago. Mr. Mom says, get tore up for cheap. Evan Williams, bottled and bond. You're not wrong. Benchmark Foolproof. That one's clutch too. I just picked that up yesterday. Or I talked about it on the channel yesterday. It's like, ooh, just thought of it. Yeah, weirdly enough, like my bottle is kind of bad with the bottled and bond, the early times. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people say it's allocated. To me, the bottle, I don't even like it. So But a lot of people say it wins crazy blinds too. So I think I just have a bad bottle. So you can go back and rewatch it if you want of that part. I'll try to give you my thoughts on it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Subscribe if you are new. We go live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Typically, we try to have a little bit more professional streams where we just kind of do some type of review or blind or something. And then we kind of turn into more of a hangout stream anyway. And if anything's like last night or even right now, we start blending whiskeys. We start doing dumb shit. So welcome to Call Me Old Fashioned. He said I wouldn't drink that sewage water. I mean, I'm old enough to know about the Four Locos back when they had caffeine in them. So those were the good old days. We were too drunk to fall asleep. Good times. Go-to bottle is Wild Turkey 101. Goes up against most everything. I mean, price-wise, proof-wise, it hits the right spots. Wild Turkey's a solid brand in general. I mean, everybody has their own version of a budget bottle, right? That's why I try to kind of hit a little bit of everything. Some people say it's under 20 bucks. Some people say it's under 30. Some people say it's under 50. Me personally, I think budget, like what would I call a cheaper bottle, is really like 40 and under. 40 to, my kid's crying. 40 to 50 is when you start kind of towing the line. Somebody said, or Miss Mom says, when my wife was in college, she had a quilt covered in Crown Royal bags. 1988. To be honest, that's kind of cool. Like, I understand like a lot of people don't like Crown, but to make a quilt out of the bags, dedication. That would be probably a pretty cool quilt. So, I say we got about 12 more minutes. Live stream will end at 1 a.m. my time. So, any last quick let's do this. I'm not going to do a recommendation. I'm going to finish this. Then we're going to do a quick pour of the Russell's 15 because I just want to drink that. That's what I want to sip on to end the stream. Just hit my knee pretty good. Tiff says, depends on where you buy it at. Pay close to $260 for a case of Wild Turkey. $260. That's Alaska prices, though. Old Granddad is the ultimate budget bottle for mixers and shots. I like the Old Granddad 114 for sure. Definitely one of my favorite budget bottles right now. The new one I got was the Benchmark Full Proof. That would be up there with it. The regular Old Granddad, I like it. I wouldn't put it up there with those two, though. But I get where you're coming from. Let me do this. Get a little splash of water. Today would have been her 57th birthday. Rest in peace, Terry. Damn. Sorry, bud. Happy birthday to Terry. We'll drink the Russell's 15 for her. I don't have any Crown Royal, or I would. Actually, I do have the Crown Royal 18 year, the extra rare, or whatever people call it. But it's not good. So, It's not bad either. Like, don't only say it's bad. It's just not my favorite. Dead Fightar. Ever try Shackleton whiskey? I have not. Why can't I find the whiskey that doesn't taste like a barrel? Because you're looking for American whiskey. You want Japanese whiskey. This is what you want. Hibiki, Japanese whiskey from Suntory, or it's Hibiki Suntory whiskey, Japanese Harmony. This is 86 proof. It's super light, super floral, citrus, not a ton of barrel impact because it's not aged worth of anything. You know, it's probably aged like 5 days, if I had to guess. Like, I don't know the fact on that, but I do know like every one of these panels on the bottle represents a season in Japan, which is pretty cool. And it's a really cool decanter. But the Japanese whiskeys don't have a ton of barrel impact, which sounds like what you want. So, David says, might be high price, but everything in Alaska has to be bargained or flown in now, or barged or flown in. Now, on the coastal villages, it usually comes up on fishing boats. The Shackleton replica is slightly salty, mildly peat, but really nice blend. Is it a Scotch? For a second, I'm like, what am I drinking? Like, this is incredible. I forgot for a second I poured Russell's. I was just like, what? This nose is nuts. Like a weird bubblegum note mixed with like fruit roll-ups, like fruit punch, strawberry. What a great bottle that is. This one is, what's the proof? 117.2 proof. 15-year age coming out of the Russell Reserve. I can't wait to see what they do with this year's. It's a Scotch. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm not the biggest Scotch fan. I haven't had any that I've actually liked. I've tried a couple and it just hasn't hit me right. So I do need to like branch into them a little bit more to try and find one I like, because I want one. I want to be able to have a Scotch on the shelf that I'm like, hey, that one's good. But it's kind of pricey to like figure it out like randomly. Wine Chaser Boys. I mean, wine. I mean, if you're chasing wine, I wouldn't know what to recommend. There's like this candy skull thing on this wine bottle from Florida. It's like a Florida grown one type of thing, but it's the sangria wine that is actually really good. I did it on the bourbon hunting video where I got this. I did point them out. So if you guys were really hardcore into wine or sangria for that matter, go to the video where I went to Gainesville, picked that bottle up. I show that wine in that. I say I'm basically picking it up for the wife because I did. Juan says, is there a Scotch that you have tried that you do like? No, not yet. I haven't had too many. I think I've had like 3 or 4 that I've like really tried. I just haven't. Like, I have the Macallan 12 up there. I have Johnny Walker Black. I've had a few others in the past, but none of them were like, ooh, let me buy that again, or let me drink that. Almost every time I left a bad taste in my mouth. Miss Mom says, I had a few nice sample pours last Friday in Dallas, but it came by with 6 banger bottles, Thomas H. Handy, Weller 12, Michter's, Bomburgers, and we cracked the Stray Hands store pick, or cash strength store pick. Well, there you go. That sounds like a good time right there. So what sucks about really good whiskey is it sucks that it's eventually going to be drank completely and you won't have it anymore. That's the only downside. Because I drink this and there's not much gone, but I look at it and I go, I could hammer this bottle on a weekend without even question and fully enjoy it. But it would suck that I would have no more. I thought that was like pineapple or something. Redbreast 12 is good. I haven't had Redbreast. I thought that was Irish whiskey though. But I hear good things about Redbreast in general, so eventually. They have it at Costco. So. All right. I'm shutting the stream down here in a few minutes anyway. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen. I just got last call from the bartenders here, so we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. As always, a little impromptu live stream. Saturday has been pretty bumping in here. Nothing too crazy, obviously, because nobody else knew. But Redbreast is Irish. See? That's pretty spot on. He says cheap, though. I mean, cheap is the key word here. You know, I love a good cheap bottle. So when there is bottles that are cheap, I'm more frequent to be like, hey, let's just pick it up and give it a shot. You know, Juan says, is your Macallan the sherry finish? No, it's the double oak. I honestly, I like trying cheaper whiskey more often because that kind of gives me a gauge of what if I'll like the rest of their lineup for some of the more expensive ones too. So, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. We do go live every Friday at 9 p.m. We will be live next weekend, probably twice, but we'll just say Friday for now, and then just kind of stay tuned. If eventually we're gonna do a giant blind for the March Madness bracket, we gotta get the details ironed out for that one. So, but yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and cue the outro here, and then we'll get this show on the road. I did get copyrighted live stream, so I can't let that happen again. Tale of Ice Cream, Pablo last weekend as well. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you watching. I will see you on the other side. Peace.